this morning's finding you well. Pretty intense reading for yesterday. Believe one thing, I know. And it's been a series of very intense days. You know, discussing this reading with a couple of other people, found out that this particular moon, let me see, I'm going to go back to that conversation really quick because it did have some pretty interesting points, and I noted that oh my goodness, okay, well that's good news. It's like something that was slated for delivery tomorrow is actually coming today. Yeah boy. Anyway, so let's see what we got. I think it was right in here. Yeah, here we go. Okay, here we go. I mentioned in this particular conversation, I said, it seems like the current trend is to completely flip shit and lose control, but every reading is like that one person screaming to the crowd to turn back. This moon cycle's getting weird. And Rachel replied that Jupiter was in Pisces and will be for a while. So it's all going to be weird for a while. And it's squaring the moon today, so that's a challenge. And no matter how hard squares are, they're always going to be the best weights to lift, the most honing of challenges. And she gave me a site to check out. And she said, right now having faith is the biggest thing. And I agree. And she also said that it was good to have boundaries. That's what Saturn teaches. And that's what we were talking about with delayed gratification. And she also does most of her work with the moon because it's the easiest to physically interact with. But Saturn is about harvest and time, so harvest happens in the right time. Sometimes we're here to plant, sometimes to water, sometimes to harvest. And it's going to be different. It's going to be different with every encounter. So obviously your mileage may vary. And you can check out Rachel's group, Sunforge. That's also on Telegram. I will probably be throwing that link in the description below if I can remember. It's I'm already kind of running behind as it is, but you never know. I might actually remember to throw that link in there. So let's get down to this bad boy and find out what's going on for today. It's another beautiful day out, at least in my area. Hopefully it is in yours too. And it'll be a cold morning, but it'll be kind of nice coming home. So definitely not coat weather. There we go. You know, we haven't done a reading like this in a few days. I'm kind of keeping the first 3 days of the week themed now. But we do get bigger toward the end of the week. And today I've got a few different decks. We're going a little old school. So I've got my Uncommon Tarot, I've got the Starseed Oracle, Spirit Animal Oracle and Viking Oracle, and of course Runes of the Gods. Naturally. Because these are great decks. These, you know, it was Uncommon Tarot and Starseed Oracle, that's where I started. That's where I started again. I want to go back to that. Because sometimes it's just important to go back to basics. Sometimes it's important to kind of go home a little bit, you know what I mean? Because when things get weird, home is the refuge you need, right? So, today, we're ending some things. You know, while I was doing that shuffle a while ago, Mr. Bub, who's like laying right there, I can't remember exactly what I said now, even though it was just moments ago, but I did say that today was the day we wave bad habits goodbye. I'm kind of hoping that's the case. Here it is again, Frithgeared. We just said that home should be your refuge, right? This is where you should be the most at peace. We talked yesterday about making peace. We've been talking a lot about this. Working on yourself. Trying to find your own peace, right? Then helping others. Finding that common ground over there. Bringing them to that ground and saying, okay, we're here, let's talk. I actually tried this yesterday, and I was asking some questions for some research I'm doing, and it kind of devolved into a pissing contest I wanted no more part of, so I just left the conversation. I was like, okay. I checked it on my break. I had, Twitter notifications in the double digits. I was like, oh no, what happened? And I looked and I was like, oh, I wish I didn't look. So, people who aren't at peace with themselves again. As I let them duke it out. And when their arms are, when they're too weak to lift their arms, well then come talk to me again. Okay, so, koi fish spirit. And this one says there's always enough. Honestly, I do not believe this card has ever come up before. I can tell you this much right now. Some of us are probably, if you're anything like me, you're like, I just do not have enough energy, but you know what? I'm going to push through it anyway. Mainly because I just don't know how to quit. There we go. So, koi fish. They grow big within small ponds, and they remind us that within each one of us is a potential for prosperity. Law of abundance ensures that prosperity is our natural state, so regardless of temporary outer conditions, you can call in prosperity and magnetically attract the opportunities and abundance you need. The message is to begin to generate wealth within, with deliberate intention, no matter how small your pond may seem, and appreciate the abundance wherever you see it. It also goes on to state that the outer conditions will begin to reflect the inner conditions. Remember what I said about people who aren't at peace with themselves? That's exactly what I'm talking about. Going to the tarot now. Ace of Wands. Seven of Wands. And an Ace of Coins. Okay, so Ace of Wands. New creative opportunity here. This is for you to create. This is for you to manifest. This is for you to bring out what's in your mind. But it will be a fresh start. Then we move on to the Seven of Wands, which is a defensive position. Yes, you will have to defend that which you've put out there. But here's the thing. If you notice, that leopard, he's resting. When you're trying to put on offense with your defense, when you're defending something that you've brought to the table, someone, attempts to kind of cross-examine it and you attack them back, that's not going to be a selling point for whatever it is you brought there. And when we talk about manifesting, that's where the Ace of Coins comes in. Because this is the opportunity to make it very real. See, the thing is, this is about action. This is about putting things into motion. But when you pass through the trials of it, this is where it becomes very real. And it sticks. And whether anyone really likes it or not, it stands on its own. That's why it's going to, what you bring to the table will be easily defensible. But just, you're not there to attack someone else or, try to do like an attack comparison. You're just saying, here it is. And when someone questions something, you say, yeah, that little part of it, here's why here's why it contributes to the whole. Without it, it doesn't work quite as well. Alright, now, for the Starseed for the Starseed Oracle, soul gifts. Here's the thing about gifts of our soul, right? I've said this before. You can do exactly what I'm doing right now. This is where your power comes from. This is where you're going to have to draw it because you've done this before. And this is going to be where those memories and gifts pop up. Many of us remember, many of us have those gifts. But do you know what the problem is? We choose to ignore them. We ignore them, we write them off, we say that's not possible, that's not me. And we close off all access. And my question to that is why? Why close access to something you've been given? For some, it means giving up the victimhood status because you can't be a victim if you're this powerful. If you're this powerful, everything that you have ever dreamed or wanted gets even closer to your grasp and your reach than ever before. But man, victimhood's easy. I can tell you that. I know. I've looked at it. I've seen it. Victimhood's easy because then you can just lay back and cry woe is me and watch things come to you, especially today, which is a little strange to me, but okay. Anyway. And this is what it means right here. Just, you talk about it, you run right into it. Just what we said about boundaries. That weight of the world. Make like Elsa, let it go. It says it's not yours to carry, it does not belong to you. Lay your burdens down, ladies and gentlemen, they're not yours. And then finally, call the cosmos. It says the intelligence lies within you. I could say, I don't have this, that, or the third. Therefore, it's a little too difficult and I'm not going to do it. Or, I could go get those things. I could learn how to use them. I could take what I currently have and learn how to use them. Those are entirely possible. But that choice is always going to be mine. That choice is always going to be yours too. But only for you. You can't decide something for someone else. Finally, in the runes we have Othala. We have Isa again. And we have Ansu's. Okay. Remember what I said. How many people did it take to get you here? How many came before you? What worked for them and why? Those Those are questions that you have to answer. You know, you read that book by Malcolm Gladwell, Outliers, which I finished probably about a week ago. And he talks a lot about ancestry and where you come from, and how all of that kind of, you know, being born at the right time. He talks about how all those are contributing factors to what makes mega successes. I have yet to see, you know, when you read the book, it can be a little off-putting because he claims that the rags to riches story is not true. He makes that claim over and over again. However, I'll hold up someone like, say, Tom McDonald, and I'll be like, explain him. Ladies and gentlemen, there are people who did things before you, and they worked for a reason. And you need to look at that. The things that didn't work, the things that were broken, you can tweak those to fit your situation. But just remember, one size does not fit all. That's where you'll have to employ a little bit of this. You're going to have to do some self-examination here. You're really going to have to slow down a little bit. This ice is in your way for a reason. It's because you need to slow down. I know the temptation is to snap to something very quickly, but it's not doing us any favors, is it? Also, ending the war, beginning the peace, showing that there's plenty enough for everyone here. It's going to require communication. It's going to require you to breathe. And it's going to require you to take those breaths to calm down. Like Diamond Dallas Page says, own your breath. Because once you own your breath, you own everything else. If you're doing yoga now, right now, that's a great card for you. So let's sum up here. It's very simple. It's time to shit or get off the pot. That simple. You can be the big fish in the small pond. You can even level the playing field. But you're going to have to go in and look back in order to move forward. You're going to have to make use of your gifts. You're going to have to look. The rest of the world is not your responsibility. You are. And you're going to have to trust that everything that makes you you, every molecule, every cell, every bit of DNA is working for you right now. Accept those little slow moments, because they're going to be everything, and learn to communicate and communicate well. Look to your predecessors. Any who came before you. I don't care if they came before you as recently as, say, 2 years ago. In your field, they're going to help. When you call in that help, they will come running. Your new idea, yeah, you're going to have to do some convincing. That's the thing, convincing, not coercion. Collaboration, not competition. So, you may even need a break. That's fine. Take the break. At the end of the day, you don't want to work on anything else. You know, go watch a movie. Something you don't have to think about. Try not to get too distracted, though. There's a certain allure to that kind of thing. But anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I'm gonna get this thing in the can and get it moving. A little bit of a lighter reading today, but this reading is more about you asserting your power, and I hope you found it. If you have been working on you, you'll have less of a problem. If you haven't, it's gonna be a difficult ride, and you're gonna have to establish some boundaries. Some soft, some hard. Anyway, I love you guys. Take care of yourselves and each other. Always do what lights you up at every opportunity. Oh no, 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 come here. Yeah, that's what I thought. Hell of a time for that to happen. But yeah, always do what lights you up. And as always, my friends, shine on. Yeah, I think I might pop a post-credit scene in there. It's been a really, really heavy week. Let me tell you, I'm feeling kind of wiped, and it's only Thursday. Still got the big Friday reading to go. Believe it or not, the Friday readings, even though they're big and, you know, kind of cumbersome at times, they're still my favorite. They're my absolute favorite, to be honest with you. But you know what? I know I'm fond of saying this, but bears repeating. Tomorrow's what a big private reading looks like. And if you want one of your own, it's very simple. Bring a friend, have the friend subscribe, be a subscriber yourself. Have that friend say, hey, so-and-so sent me. And each one of you gets a nice little private reading. Any question you want to have answered, any one that's been burning on your mind. Don't have a friend to bring along? You know, throw me something off the Amazon wish list, and guess what? You get 2 readings and a birthday reading. But if you want to get yourself something, and you want more readings, well then why not support a friend of mine's work? Go to heathensoullore.net, pick up the ebook, and you get, what was it I said? You get 4 readings total. It'll be the 3 private readings and a birthday reading. If you get the hardcover black and white, I'll give you 6 readings total. That'll be 5 in the birthday reading. And if you get the hardcover full color book, which is kind of pricey, I understand. That's why I'm saying a full year of readings. Any question, any time, and the birthday reading. And like I said, you can get yourself a little something, or I don't know, a little something for a friend or a relative. It'd be a nice little gesture. And of course, because you're doing a friend of mine a solid, backing something that I believe in as well, well, then I'll do you a solid in return. That's how the rune Gabo works. And Gabo is the rune that looks like an X, by the way. So, you'll be supporting a friend of mine's work, you'll be getting yourself something in the process, or something for a friend, and then, because you did all that, did all those good little deeds all in one, well, I'll give you one right back. Just as good, if not better. Because that's how I roll. Keeps me from having to pursue YouTube's little ever-moving goalposts on monetization. They still owe me 30 cents, by the way. YouTube, you still owe me 30 cents. I'll take it in pennies. Cold hard cash. Send it to me in crypto. I don't care. Alright. See you tomorrow.